Hi again. Didn't introduce myself in my first video, but my name is Michael. I have been studying Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, yoga, these similar arts for 13, 14 years. It's my passion, it's my joy, and it's also my passion and my joy to share that with others. And today is the second part of a series. The first video was talking about why we do Tai Chi, this idea of getting into resonance and using that felt sense of resonance to help guide our lives, to have the life we want to be. The simple idea being that reality is all set up for your best benefit, for your learning, for your helping you develop your highest potential, for the purpose of evolving your consciousness more and more to an infinite dimension. If we're in touch with that felt resonance, we can make the decisions and live our life in the way that best suits us as unique individuals. The other idea that connects to this was that because it's all for us, if we can find that sense of resonance, then we can accept everything, let go of anything we need to, and just have a really basically more easygoing way about life. Some people tend to have this more naturally. I myself didn't, but I'm much more laid back. It's much more conducive to happiness and joy and love. And I find that most people want that too. We have this idea in us that we always need everything to go our own way. It's a sense of control. It probably originates from a lot of things, one being trauma and often trying to fit into a system, a way of doing things that doesn't quite suit us. So we have a resistance to life often, but the idea is life is set up for us. We get into resonance, we can always choose what most suits us, and it's not always what happens. May not seem like it's always what we wanted, but we got to reframe that as it is what we wanted, because all these experiences, if we're open to it, are there to help us. I believe and feel that reality really is set up to evolve us, and it's there for us. And if we use all our life experience, and not just use it, if we experience all of life as something for us, then we don't have to get down about anything. We can be very laid back about everything. Everything's fine. This is all just for the purpose of more fully experiencing who we really are. We can stay at a higher state and not have to get down about anything. Anyway, not too much more philosophy about that. I believe that's the purpose of Tai Chi and Qigong and these arts. For me at least, other people get other things out of them in a rush perspective, and health as well. But if you think about it, the most healthy thing you can do is live a life in accord with who you really are. That's going to make you feel great. You're not going to be binge eating on food and drugs to get you through the day. You're just going to be enjoying things as they are. Okay, so we did joint opening, loosening our body, so now we're a bit more in touch with our bodies. We know how to sink. We're going to take the same principles just into a horse stance and then some Qigong. Now horse stance is really great because it's really simple. You can learn it really quickly, and it has instant results, and it's just the gift that keeps on giving, literally. It just keeps, it will always change whenever you do this exercise. Just because you're doing the same movement, you'll be refining it more and more, and you'll experience something different each time. And as I was saying in the introduction to this video, don't be attached to what you're going to experience. The more open we are, the more exciting and enlivening and enlightening experiences we will have. That is what I believe reality is trying to teach us, is that if we can be more accepting and more open, then we'll be happier, basically. Okay, so horse stance, same principle. So as you remember, we can be in this high stance, which is basically like a high horse stance. We call it standing posture or tree posture. There's actual Chinese names for it as well. But we're going to go a bit wider today, and everyone's hips are different, the mobility in the hips, how far you can go apart. But for me, my ideal length, and for most people, is you do 3 of these. So you flick your heels out once, then you flick your toes out to 45, flick your heels out again, and then flick your toes out once more. And then for me, that's pretty good for today. I can go a bit wider, but I don't need to. So same principles before, sinking the perineum, puppet head, making sure I'm not bending over, I'm nice in alignment here, I'm not caving my chest too much, but I'm definitely not pushing my chest out. My chest is what we call just sunken. Just sink our chest a bit without this coming down, so my head stays up, sternum comes down. That will allow energy to sink to our core and to the ground. Let's go to this side angle. So once I'm there, I might find I'm too far forward or too far back. It's a constant process every time we do this, and while we're doing it, initially, is to just find where our center is. Our weight should be on the tripod of our feet. So we've got the heel point, we've got the ball point underneath our big toe, and the ball point underneath our little toe. That's our tripod. We set that up for both of our feet. Next thing we do, once we've got our ideal posture, is I'm ripping through the ground with about 15-30% exertion, with my heel crossing my body and my heel crossing my body. I'm not actually moving or sliding, just that intent to activate those adductors and adductors. And then I'm pushing my little toe out. So I'm gripping through the floor, trying to get this torque through my hips, activating what we call the qua. Check I'm still sinking, check I'm elastic. And I can raise my hands up, number of hand positions, but we'll just start today like we're holding a big Bosu ball or any type of big ball. Eventually this will become a circuit, positive and negative polarities of both of our sides of our body joined together. Our body is functioning rather like an antenna, tuning into more optimum and higher frequencies. And already, because of the oxygen demand by my muscles and my legs working, my breath wants to go deeper and sink lower. No special breath techniques needed for most of this. Check the torque still on my hips, yes. Check my shoulders are relaxed. And we hold that. Check my feet are even and in line. I'm gonna hold that. Might just do 30 seconds. You don't have to be that low. You can be here. In fact, it can be hazardous or detrimental to health if we go too low too soon. We're not trying to go really yang, really insert ourselves in this initially. Later on, when our systems relax, we can go deeper. We don't want to overwork those kidneys. We're just learning how to relax. Now this may look similar to a squat against the wall or something, but for most people it has quite a different effect when you put these principles into it, because most people aren't putting relaxation when they're sitting against the wall. They're just sitting against the wall. They're just no, that's just yang. We're trying to develop yin and yang, but since most of us don't really have a access point to yin yet, that relaxed grounded state, we want to cultivate that first. So again, ripping through the floor with my feet, activating the qua. So we're building energy in our lower dantian here. Stay relaxed, and we're going to hold that. Ideally, go for 2 minutes the first time. The next time, try 3. Quickly go up to 5. You just do that 5 minutes a day as a morning practice, evening practice. You could just do that, and that would be life-changing. Also, these are tools I use in counseling clients with anxiety and depression and related, emotional disharmonies they have, whatever life situation they're in, they're facing, whatever pain they have. But particularly for anxiety, for example, if you're anxious, you do this for 5 minutes, you're building the kidney power, and if your kidney power is strong, you're not going to have anxiety. Getting really into my body, really grounded. You often notice if you're really worried about something, you go and do this. The anxiety's gone afterwards, and you're like, what was I worrying about? So these arts have a lot of psychotherapeutic potential. They're just not well known yet. Don't have to think about the problem, I just go into my body. And as I build my energy, as I build my organ strength, I go to a higher consciousness, and a solution for the problem will often spontaneously appear. And then you just step in. You can close out first, like we did in our first video. We want to always ground the energy back into our lower dantian. Have our center here. You can listen to your breath. Breathing through your nose, mouth through your nose. If it's blocked, that's okay. You use your mouth, you still get a lot of benefit. Just holding my awareness lightly on that lower dantian. Noticing what my breath's doing. Noticing what I'm feeling in my body. Stepping in to the Wu-Ji state. State before separation. State before yin and yang. State of whole. State before duality. Sinking my hips. Feeling my fingertips. You'll probably notice some sensations in there already. Now as I get up, I can shake out. It's good to have a walk around, so you can embody that, you can transfer that state to the rest of your life, make it transferable. So that's horse stance, really simple, same principles as the joint opening. You can do a high horse stance if you want, for a longer time, 20 minutes, some people do an hour to 2 hours. You don't need to do that, but if you feel inclined, you'll get a lot of benefits as well. Just that one horse stance though will be enough for a lot of people. So we're only 12 minutes in. Let's jump straight into the Qigong, and we'll finish very quickly with what I was talking about in the first video, is what is Qi. So we've got all this Qi and blood circulating through our bodies right now. It's prime time after the Qigong to do some feeling, sensitivity exercises to see what this Qi actually is. Right now I can feel this vortex, like you would see when you're draining a bath. It's pretty much like that. We call it heaven and earth in Taoism and Chinese medicine and these arts. You got two opposing forces, and here they're manifesting through our positive and negative sides of our body. Positive and negative polarities, very similar to electricity. But we'll go into that in a second. So I'm just going to go into shoulder width stance. Have your feet a bit out if you want, your toes point a little bit out if that's more comfortable for your hip structure or your flexibility or any injuries. But we keep the basic principles, basic structure. So I'm sinking, I'm soft, I'm elastic. And I'm just going to do what I call the teapot. These have Chinese names, but for the sake of remembering exercises, the more likely I remember them, the more likely you are to do them, of course. So we can just stick with that name. And the teapot gives you a very good indication what you're supposed to be doing. So my shoulder's a bit flared, there's not much tension in there, just enough tension to keep that structure. But two spout teapot. And as I shift my way into my right leg, and I'm sinking my way into my right leg, the blood and chi is moving to my fingertips here, like the water would in the kettle, in the teapot, and then moving back through here into here. Of course, the circulation happening with the chi and blood throughout your body as I'm sinking my weight as well. But initially, you can just follow this pattern. We don't normally imagine things, but just to start off, you can imagine it going up there, and often that imagination will sink in with the actual felt sensations. Very quickly, you don't need to imagine anything. It's not advisable. But here I'm getting a nice balancing effect, balancing left side and right sides of my body. breath's naturally regulating itself. I'm breathing deep down into my lower dantian area and underneath my ribcage and through my ribs, not just chest breathing. There's different variations. You can have your hand here, but the important points are get a transfer of the weight, so sink into one leg, check my puppet posture, sink into the other leg. Do 10, 20 of those. Moving into this one, which is a bit more technical initially, but you'll get it pretty quickly. So, right palm is going to be facing the sky. I'm just going to bend down. You don't need to bend down this much so you can see my hand. The left palm is facing the ground, and then both fingers are ideally in line with the center line, or just a bit onto the opposite, pointing towards the opposite side. As I come down, I'm just switching those hand positions. A bit stiff there, and they meet crossing the body on that center line, that central axis. And all the movement, if I now tune into it, is coming from here, using my hips and my dantian to generate the movement. My body just wants me to sigh right now, then I'll return to just nasal breathing, ideally. But if you need to breathe through your mouth, that's fine too. Now, when I get down to here, what's actually happening is it's like there's a stick across me. And using my core power, trying to break that stick. Okay, 2 points of leverage. That's the movement. By using my hips, if you see my hips, trying to break it there. So nice and soft. Going to come up a bit higher because you want to be nice and high with this one so you can relax in Qigong. Don't want to be worried about having to release body tension as much with your legs having to work so hard. Just going to turn around so you can see without having to mirror that. Right arm comes up, left hand comes down. Right arm comes down, left arm comes down. And then when you've done enough of those, bring it back down here. 2 more, so just 4 exercises, but it's doing everything. That's all you need. Don't need a complicated set. Simple set, does everything. The improvement comes through embodying the principles and paying, giving attention to your principles. That's where the improvement comes, not in complicated forms necessarily, although those can be fun and serve some other purposes later on. It's going to do some circles now with our hands. Our hips are going to be generating the movement. So I've got that core activation now ready. And it's coming from the hips and dantian, and then my shoulders and elbows, wrists, then fingertips, which are alive. I can just have a light awareness of my fingertips. That's what we call live fingers in these arts. And right now, you can see a difference if I'm just using my arms. That's why people think Tai Chi or Qigong is not just dancing or not doing much, because that's just using your body in a linear way. Tai Chi and Qigong is not linear. So I'm going to start with my hips now, and you'll see that activates the energy in our body to start circulating and getting stronger, because we're drawing up energy and drawing down energy. Now, you don't have to be moving your wrists like this as well. You can just do circles, as long as you're not tensing up too much. Let me go the other way. Thinking I'm starting from my dantian, I'm checking with my posture, my shoulders tensing up, just relax and sink into the movement. Again, this is opening up. I can feel it through my organs, particularly my liver. Lots of variation to this. This is very similar to silk whirling and the circles we do in Tai Chi. It's what I mean, all the movements we're doing, the joint opening, the Qigong, they're all the foundation for good Tai Chi. You can learn Tai Chi very quickly if you learn the principles first. I'm going to tune in the last two movements, so I'm giving you an accurate representation. You can see my hands are following from my hips. Come back down. Last one, very simple. This one will open your breathing, so you could just do 100 of these a day. You know, do a lot of benefit. So, like we're carrying 2 cups of water, and then just pouring them overhead. I'm sinking down to my hips. Inhaling. And again, my body's telling me to sigh. Pour the water down. Fingers come down, center line of your body, and as fingers get to the bottom, your wrists, fingers start rotating out. You come up. I'm not way back in line with my middle finger, not in line with my shoulders, slightly ahead. So if you see from side on, slightly in front of me. Inhale out, exhale. For time's sake, to not make this video too low, so then we'll just close out. Rocking back and forth, I'm sinking on one leg then the other. We'll also bring the energy back in. Left hand palm comes 2 inches. The middle point here of your palm comes 2 inches below your nail button. Right palm comes on top if you're man. It's the reverse if you're woman. So right palm comes down, left palm on top. Again, just feel that tenty head. 5-10 breaths. And step into the Wuji state. Fully closed, sinking my weight in. I'm now very grounded, even more centered. And eventually you want to try and feel as much of the ground as you can. Even way beyond you, I can see about 15 kilometers where I am because I'm on a mountain. And try and feel as much as you can of the earth around you, because you're connecting to that grid. Everything's energy, so there's an energetic grid you're connecting to. That will connect you into the landscape and just earth you, get you centered, give you clarity, and then ideally peace and just relaxation. Okay, so that's the end of the Qigong set, and quickly see where your knees are slightly above or level, ideally, with your hips. So it's good, my hips are just below my knee level, but I'm using that same posture we've been in the whole time, pushing through the tailbone, head's going up, and I'm going to put my fingertips out, not really tensing them out. There might be tendency to curl because there's a bit too much yang in the fingers, but just you can flatten them out with a bit, but you still want your fingertips relaxed. This is a great meditation in itself. You can't stand for some reason. This will give you a lot of benefit to the standing stuff. Slightly lower voltage, but still going to be doing all the same things. And all I'm doing here is I'm feeling my fingertips while being aware of my posture, my breath, feeling my body, feeling my fingertips. And there'll be sensations there. So not only opening your meridians, developing good posture and body awareness, you're developing a sensitivity. And because Qi is of a more subtle realm than this dense physical vibration of the physical world, sensitivity training is necessary. You don't have to do this exercise, you can just tune into small parts of your body, but this is a great all-round exercise that's a staple of my practice, and I've done a lot of these practices, all sorts of different traditions and kinds, but this one stuck with me. So I feel my fingertips, and I might do that for 5 minutes, and this one's actually enjoyable. It's a very good meditation because you can just drop into it pretty quickly. But today we're not going to do the meditation too long. You can do that on your own. We're going to use that We should feeling some sensations in our fingertips. You'll see the blood pooling in there, red blotches. That means the Chi's going there too, because Chi and blood go together. And now we've got the awareness to feel our fingertips, and therefore eventually they can happen quite quickly. Feel where the meridians in our body, where we're blocked in our organs. It's a great self-diagnosing tool to know what we need to correct. But we're here to feel Chi. So palms together. Keep my posture. I'm just going to come out with my hands, like I'm on that accordion again, and in. Just going to twist here so you can see that. So my wrists are in line with my fingertips, but then I'm keeping my wrists in line with my fingertips, but just bringing my elbows out. So it's like I'm pressing very lightly, or I'm in water. I'm just trying to condense that water, squish it in. You might already feel something between your pericardium point here and your fingers. And this is where people normally feel something. So we're going to create that vortex again. So we got about an inch apart, and one hand's following the other, and see what you feel in there. Spend a few minutes doing this. Now I can feel a pull between each hand, which feels like a vortex, like I use in the bath analogy. And then reverse that. Rub them together. Let's see what we can feel. Remember, it's a subtle realm, so tune in. You're not looking for a dense vibration like you would feel in your hands. It's much lighter. And now there's even greater pull. And you can alternate between those two exercises. And then rubbing. And then you'll feel what is Chi. It may not be throughout your whole body and you're not connected to the universe yet, but you felt Chi, and that's the beginning point. Now you know what you're orientating to, what to look for. The sensations will change, of course, so you're not looking for the same sensation all the time. But you know there's Chi, and you can feel that sense of resonance from other people who tell you about things. You don't have to believe people, but if it resonates with you, that's your intuition, and that's your higher intelligence, your body intelligence, telling you that's true for you, rather than is this Chi real as a theory or concept. It's not a theory or concept. Chi is beyond that, beyond words. Words can only point to it, as they're only symbols. And then you can finish with a Dantian meditation, and I like to feel the Dantian, 5-10 breaths, feel my heart, feel something that you love or someone you love, and feel where that sensation is. That's our middle Dantian, this is our lower Dantian in the Taoism of Chinese medicine. And then we're going to feel our wisdom center, our upper Dantian, just between the eyebrows. And just notice what's there. You don't have to feel it straight away, but it's there. And if we develop and have awareness of these three centers, then we'll be balanced. Our thinking will be balanced with our emotions, and then our core needs, groundedness, centeredness. Here, it's also related to survival, which is, some people say the solar plexus. But that's a long talk. But mainly here is where we're grounded and solid. We look after ourselves and others. Here is our heart, love, feeling, and here is the wisdom to balance them all. They're all active. Then our decisions, our emotions, our thinking, and our feeling, our sense of self will be balanced. That's enough for today. This video's reached half an hour already. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.